Oh, snap. Welcome back to the channel, y'all. My name's Patrick. If you like true crime, I'm live every single night, literally every single night. So come on in, hit the subscribe button. If you're just watching the replay, hit the thumbs up button. If you're just waiting for this to start, hit the thumbs up button. That is all YouTube cares about, y'all. Interaction. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And yeah, hit the thumbs up button. That's it. We're live on TikTok as well. TikTok, shout out to y'all. Thanks for the love. JP Miller. Oh my word. The interview. There's more coming out about the interview. Maybe the whole interview. I guess it came out at like midnight last night. But first, I saw, and you guys know, I was just telling TikTok, I blind react to all of this, right? So I don't watch videos beforehand and go, ooh, this would be a good one. No, I get sent videos, I take them, and we watch them. So this one, the only thing I look at is the title, right? So we have, I mean, it could be who knows what, right? But this one is by a creator called Chevy Cool Lady. Let me make sure that I have the YouTube tabs muted. Okay, perfect. She's got 167 subscribers, so let's blow that channel up. But this is talking about, and it's pinned in the comments or in the description. But this one's talking about JP Miller and a Leviathan curse.
You what?
We don't know. But let's jump into it. You guys ready for this? I'm going to shrink myself down, and we're going to see what the heck is going on in this one.
We know the dark side is a world of symbols and hidden meanings, an inverted world, portrayed by the saying, as above, so below, popularized by Crowley, masters of the Golden Dawn. The Micah Francis case is deep and full of chaos. Why? Demonic involvement, spiritual contracts, initiated by bloodlines? Let's investigate possibilities. The fruit of this case is chaos. Let's expose the darkness together.
Whoa.
Let's look into symbols associated with the Mica Miller case and see if there is anything to decode. This is an expression of ideas not meant as any more than education or entertainment. You may be surprised to see what we have found. Let me know your thoughts and ideas in the comments. Please also like and subscribe. Maybe there is nothing there, but I just can't drop this unseen connection, but I sense it is there. If it is, I will find the dots to connect. If not, then no. Please join me as I go down the Freemason, Solid Rock Church connection rabbit hole to find what we find. This is Chevy.
Oh, here we go.
Cool Lady, investigating and opinionating. This is a safe place to discuss ideas about news, current events, mysteries, and history. Please like and subscribe if this channel suits your fancy. Welcome back, all my cool subs. Grab a snack and let's take a look. Let's start with the hidden meanings of Micah's name. Mica, Acacia. We have been investigating this heart-wrenching story from the beginning, and at this point, we want to see it through till the end. When we can say justice for Mica was served, in that, she did not live in vain. She is the hero of the story, by making it one of ultimate triumph for all women in South Carolina and everywhere, over coercive control and domestic abuse. We support the Francis family, and in their fight for truth. Mica is a beautiful first name. I will study it in just a minute. We will look at her second name first. In Hebrew scriptures, acacia is a sacred wood. It was used to make sacred furniture for the altar of God. An altar is a place of sacrifice and a memorial. The Ark of the Covenant and the tabernacle were all made from acacia, a type of the Holy of Holies, reminding us of the holiness of God. The life of Mica Acacia was sacred and now is being used in God's service also, to carry her story far and wide.
Very true. By the way, it's Sicily, right? Sicily? Thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for joining the channel. Very, very sweet of you. Thank you for the love, y'all. Click that link that's pinned up in the comments on YouTube, and y'all hit the thumbs up button. Let's get 100 likes. Come on, y'all, YouTube. Let's do this.
It's not about her death, but the fact that she didn't get to live her life. I believe her spirit was crushed through coercion. It's very dark, Let's bring this spiritual wickedness to light. This story is full of it. Is it by degree? In no known way was Mica associated with this group. The connection is purely happenstance. In Freemasonry, acacia is a symbol of the immortality of the soul. Immortality of the soul, or eternal life. The name Mica has both Latin and Hebrew origins. Translates to the question, who is like God? In Latin, Mica comes from the name amica, meaning loved friend. This seems like a fitting
Oh,
first
wow.
name, a symbol of faith and a definition of beloved friend. The male version of the name, Mica, is one of the 12 minor prophets of the Old Testament. This is also the name of a separate person in the Book of Judges, the keeper of an idol. This is very interesting in light of the way the Micah Francis case has turned into a cry for social justice,
Cecily, I got it now. Thank you. Thanks for watching.
echoing the biblical prophet's call. Micah is a significant figure in the Bible, known for his powerful messages of judgment and hope. Micah's legacy is one of calling people back to righteousness and justice, emphasizing that true worship of God involves acting justly, loving mercy, and walking humbly with God. Micah 6 verse 8. What does the Lord require of us? There are times the Bible challenges, corrects, and rebukes. This verse does all three. The family website says this was Micah's favorite verse. I don't know how often you think about what the Lord requires of you, but he provides an answer here in Micah. As followers of Jesus Christ, we must live out this verse in our lives every day, especially if we want to represent Christ well on the earth. This evergreen is an emblem of our faith in the immortality of the soul. By this, we are reminded that we have an immortal part within us, which shall survive the grave, and which shall never, never, never die. This statement is used during Masonic funeral rites. Interesting. When I look at these beautiful pictures, which I took from the church's website, I think, wow, JP, you had it all. You really had it all. Even after your fall from grace with your first wife, Allison, God restored you and gave you a beautiful woman and a church that looked excited to participate in a whole lot of fun-looking events.
Oh, man, right? Aaliyah, thank you.
But sin ruined it all. And it ruined Micah. And it ruined you. It ruined the church family and devastated your own kids. That is such a shame. I have no idea if there is a connection to secret societies. But JP had his own secret society, full of secrets. Secrets and lies. But you got real sloppy, JP. Everything changed, in your words, on March 11th. But actually, that change that is irrevocable is the change that happened April 27th. The change that happened at Lumber River State Park, a river that is called Blackwater Tea. The dark murky waters that run through the most dangerous town in North Carolina. The change that took Micah's life away. Let's take a look at the symbols of North Carolina and Lumber River State Park. In a world run by devils.
Oh, man. This is going in deep, huh? Stella, thank you.
We see signs and sigils. In every state and every state park, the signs indicate Luciferian connections and places of sacrifice. Was the Lumber River such a place where a sacrifice was made? We don't know. This is just speculation. If you have any idea how to decode these signs, please comment in the box below. I would love to learn more. But one thing we know, it's all hidden in plain sight. The waterways are full of contracts made to devils. Leviathan is the ruler of the water. Jesus walked on water to show his dominion over the demonic kingdoms located in the water. Did the demons of the water demand a sacrifice? Was it due to bloodline contracts? Or for promotion? Or a special deal, like the deal of an expensive item, like a plane, which happened to be bought just 12 days after Micah's death? So, let's look at the number 12. Justice for Micah has become a push for laws in South Carolina to change, to include abusive and coercive control. This bill refers to a pattern of behavior used to dominate, manipulate, and intimidate another person with an intimate and familiar relationship. She said acts include threats, humiliation, emotional abuse, and isolation. Behavior used to manipulate or harm an individual. Regina Ward, attorney for the Francis family, compiled what she called Micah's List, allegations taken from Miller's spoken words, journals, and other writings she left behind. The list was used to show examples of abusive coercive control. Here's just a bit of the backstory, as there are many videos concerning Mica's tragedy. This video is looking for hidden meanings and symbols, intentional or not. Names are very important. We see that in the Bible in multiple places. Here is the timeline of that fateful day. There are still more questions than answers, but somehow, with enough eyes and thoughts, maybe we can make sense of it all. Maybe not.
That's what we're all thinking.
The cry continues, justice for Mica, and a plea to domestic violence and coercive control. Mica was kept like a prisoner at beat and made to feel worthless, despite the tremendous work she did at the church. Mica had very little support because people like J.P. Miller isolate and blame the problems on her family and friends and never accept responsibility themselves. In tarot symbolism, the number 12 is associated with the Hanged Man card. This card carries deep spiritual and symbolic meanings. Sacrifice and letting go. The Hanged Man represents the idea of self-sacrifice and the need to let go of something to gain a new perspective or insight. Interesting. Occult symbols are codes which contain hidden knowledge. These symbols reflect the Cabale's principles and show other occultists where ritual places are located. The letters on the sign show where the Freemasons are located in that state also. It's a hidden language. The Order of Golden Dawn is big in Myrtle Beach. The big golden sun is the symbol. We see that located on the park sign in the upper left side. Working our way from the left, we see groups of trees. This looks very
Whoa. Aaliyah, thank you.
specific to
Caffeinated Sloth, good to see
me.
you.
Freemasonry and Leviathan. Some sources suggest that involvement in certain secret societies, like the Freemasons, can lead to a spiritual affliction known as the Leviathan curse. This curse is believed to be passed down through generations and is associated with various physical and emotional ailment. Is there a connection to a generational Freemason curse in the Mica and J.P. Miller case?
Whoa.
It has been reported that J.P.'s father is a Freemason. Was Mica's pure heart a sacrifice for the Millers to gain power? In some contexts, Leviathan is portrayed as a powerful entity requiring significant sacrifices to summon or appease. For example, in the game Soul Sacrifice, characters undergo transformations and make sacrifices to gain the power of Leviathan. Sometimes I think the games have a lot of digital reality portrayed in them. The Leviathan curse is often associated with the Leviathan spirit, a demonic entity mentioned in various religious and spiritual contexts. Here are some key aspects. Generational curse. The Leviathan curse is believed to be a generational curse, passed down through family lines, particularly if ancestors were involved in secret societies like the Freemasons one. This curse can manifest as physical ailments such as scoliosis, back pain, and neck tightness, as well as emotional and spiritual issues like insomnia and anxiety. Pride and arrogance. The Leviathan spirit is often linked to pride and arrogance. It is said to cause division, confusion, and chaos in relationships and communities. This spirit can also attack the mind, leading to feelings of hopelessness, depression, and anxiety. Biblical references. In the Bible, Leviathan is described as a powerful and fearsome creature. For example, in the book of Job, Leviathan is depicted as a monstrous sea creature that cannot be tamed by humans. This imagery is often used to symbolize the overwhelming and destructive nature of the Leviathan spirit. Breaking the curse. Overcoming
Christy, right? A bunch of us said the same thing.
the Leviathan curse typically involves spiritual practices such as prayer, repentance, and deliverance. It is believed that humility and seeking God's grace are essential to breaking free from this curse. The connection between Leviathan and Freemasonry is often discussed in the context of spiritual beliefs and conspiracy theories. Here are some key points. Leviathan spirit. In some spiritual circles, the Leviathan spirit is considered a demonic entity associated with pride, chaos, and destruction. It is believed to cause various physical and emotional ailments, such as scoliosis, back pain, and anxiety. This spirit is sometimes linked to generational curses, particularly in families with a history of involvement in secret societies like the Freemasons.
Whoa.
So, how does one get the Leviathan spirit? You can receive it through significant emotional wounds from your father or mother. But you can also receive it if you had a father, grandfather, or great-grandfather that was involved in the Freemasons due to a curse that comes down through the bloodline because of things done in secret. The Leviathan spirit can afflict generations within the same family, especially if the father, grandfathers, great-grandfathers, or earlier ancestry on either the mother or father's side was involved in the Blue Lodge, Freemasons, Scottish Rite or York Rite, and Shriners. Members of those organizations pledge secret oaths to Allah and against Christianity. If members ever
Holy hell. Stella, thank you.
shared what went on in their meetings, they pledged vows of torture. Historically, Freemasons were known for their secrecy and a way to obtain more business contacts, and thus become more financially successful. Many policemen, government, banking, and other business-related men looking for connections were common members. Worship does occur in Masonic lodges. One of the primary purposes of Freemasonry is worship. Masons worship a god with
Rachel, thank you. Aaliyah, thank you for the Cash App too. Very sweet. Little cup of coffee action. Thank you for the love. Sunshine, what are we doing? We're listening to this lady talk about how she believes John Paul Miller has a Leviathan curse on him through his bloodline ancestry from Freemasonry and secret societies. That's where we're at right now. That's how deep down this rabbit hole we all seem to be going. YouTube, hit the thumbs up button, though. We need 100 likes. Come on, y'all. Everybody watching, hit the little thumbs up button. Just do it real quick. It helps support the channel, helps spread the word about the live stream. TikTok, hit the follow button, tap the screen like crazy. Let's get 25,000 likes. Thank you for the little hand hearts, y'all. We're trying to get 50 of them. Thanks for the support. The channel is not monetized, so I appreciate the live gifts because that just helps me go live every night. Here I am, Wendy. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. Oh, and TikTok, if you want to watch the video with us, like actually see what we're seeing or see what you're hearing, you know what I'm saying. Come over to YouTube, search The Mystery Project. It should be pinned on the screen. In fact, let me redo it just in case. Bam, The Mystery Project. That's the name of the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. Nurse KK, howdy, ma'am. But yeah, The Mystery Project, that's where you'll find the channel. Come subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and let's continue on.
Which they call the great architect of the universe. The symbol they have chosen to represent their god is the all-seeing eye, which the Egyptians used to represent their pagan god, Osiris. Since Freemasonry teaches a false plan of salvation, Masons are not following in the teachings of Jesus Christ. 2 John 1 verse 9 says, "Whoever transgresses and does not abide in the doctrine of Christ does not have God. He who abides in the doctrine of Christ has both the Father and the Son." They sacrifice to demons and not to God, and I do not want you to have fellowship with demons. You cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of demons. You cannot partake of the Lord's table and of the table of demons. This confirms that the sacrifices of pagans are offered to demons, rather than God. If an ancestor has ever been a Grand Master of a lodge, or initiated into high-level witchcraft, the Leviathan spirit will increase into what is known as the Leviathan curse. Mental illness, persistent feelings of anxiety, and neck or back pain are signs that one may be under the Leviathan curse. Pride, a critical spirit, confusion, stupor. Impatience, a lying tongue, deception, and contention, discord, hate, murder. In Proverbs, these 6 things the Lord hates. Yes, 7 are an abomination to him: a proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that are swift in running to evil, a false witness who speaks lies, and one who sows discord among brethren. When we see these things, we may be dealing with a Leviathan spirit. 1. Can you draw out Leviathan with a hook, or snare his tongue with a line which you lower? 2. Can you put a reed through his nose, or pierce his jaw with a hook? 3. Will he make many supplications to you? Will he speak softly to you? For will he make a covenant with you? Will you take him as a servant forever? 5. Will you play with him as with a bird? Or will you leash him for your maidens? 6. Will your companions make a banquet of him?
Reason, don't worry, it's almost over. About a minute and a half.
Will they apportion him among the merchants? 7. Can you fill his skin with harpoons, or his head with fishing spears? 8. Lay your hand on him. Remember the battle. Never do it again. 9 indeed. Any hope of overcoming him is false. Shall one not be overwhelmed at the sight of him? 10 No one is so fierce that he would dare stir him up. Who then is able to stand against me? 11 Who has preceded me, that I should pay him? Everything under heaven is mine. 12 I will not conceal his limbs, his mighty power, or his graceful proportions. 13 Who can remove his outer coat? Who can approach him with a double bridle? 14 Who can open the doors of his face, with his terrible teeth all around? 15 His rows of scales are his pride, shut up tightly as with a seal. 16 One is so near another, that no air can come between them. 17 They are joined one to another. They stick together and cannot be parted. 18
Don't worry, y'all. I'm 100% lost now, too.
His sneezings flash forth light, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. 19 Out of his mouth go burning lights. Sparks of fire shoot out. 20 Smoke goes out of his nostrils, as from a boiling pot, and burning rushes. 21 His breath kindles coals, and a flame goes out of his mouth. 22 Strength dwells in his neck, and sorrow dances before him.
It's like a list of the things that happen.
23 The folds of his flesh are joined together. They are firm on him, and cannot be moved. 24 His heart is as hard as stone, even as hard as the lower millstone. 25 When he raises himself up, for the river that depart his spirits.
John Paul Miller, but
Okay, so basically, I guess the quick synopsis, the rundown of that is that because I guess allegedly he was part of the Freemasons, or his dad was, or whatever, that he has some kind of what is it called? Leviathan curse. Okay. All right. I see what you did there. Holy hell. All right. Let's jump in to the next one, y'all. Don't worry. I got you back. This one it's more about that interview, y'all, that went up last night. This one's Chelsea J. We've listened to her quite a few times. And don't worry, y'all. After this one, we've got some Agatha May. Yup, new video from Agatha May. Oh, gosh, here we go. Okay, y'all, make sure you hit the thumbs up button. We're still not at 100 likes, YouTube. Crazy. 13 people need to hit that thumbs up button. TikTok, hit the follow button, tap the screen like crazy. We got 25,000 likes. Look at that. TikTok, 25,000 likes. YouTube, not even 100. I believe in y'all. Come on. All right, let's go. Chelsea J, let's see what you got about the interview.
I'm so sorry.
You need a minute?
Oh, man.
Oh,
Oh, man.
okay. Welcome back, loved ones. Happy Saturday. This interview came out at midnight last night, so the first thing that I did was sleep, because I don't lose sleep for John Paul Miller, but for Mica, I owed it to her to see what this guy had to say. I quit the whole TikTok tuning in thing pretty much ever since my last release, because I could smell from a mile away some bullshit. My opinion was that was a tactic for attention, and as far as I know, he did nothing but bait everyone. He put out 3-minute pieces of content to win the reactions, and when he got people tuning in and he got all these reactive responses, the games began. It went exactly as I thought that it would. The attention came off the real victim, Micah Francis, and became John Paul Miller's spiderweb, which infuriated you if you were tuning in. 3 minutes of your life that you'd never see again, am I right? So all those
Whoa.
TikToks have suddenly come down. They are no longer. So today, since John Paul Miller decided to take off his superhero gear, put on his big boy pants, and do a national television interview, I decided to tune in. That in mind, there is a substantial amount of evidence against this guy. He's abused many people and has not been held accountable. Micah Francis, time and time again, did everything that she could think of to get out of this marriage and was failed tenfold by her community, her husband, the church, Dr. Randall, the police, and many more. So it's to my knowledge and belief that her family, the Francis family, were amongst the very small amount of people, like the only group of people in all of this that believed in her and they supported her. I'm sure for them, it was like being up against an army of 300, you know, this little family and their very loved daughter and sister, Mica, you know, just trying to help her out because Mica was not protected from her abuser in game. So sure, let's see what he has to say for himself. I have not seen the interview. Today I'm watching it for the first time. I'm writing my thoughts and I'll present as I go. So here we go.
And while there's a paper trail from here till Sunday that documents the couple's turbulent marriage, the GPS trackers that JP put on Mica's car, her tires that he allegedly slashed, and, oh, right, that topless photo of Mica that he reportedly posted online.
Whoa.
One indisputable fact remains, and it cannot be forgotten. John Paul Miller has not been formally accused or charged with anything related to Mica Miller's death. Mica was 30 years old and had been living apart from JP for more than a year when she got in her car in Myrtle Beach on April 27th alone and drove to a pawn shop where she bought a gun and ammunition. She made another stop at a gas station, and then she drove to the Lumber River State Park in North Carolina, right across the state line. And it was there that she dialed 911, telling the operator exactly what she had planned for that Saturday afternoon in the woods and where exactly they could find her body.
Why now? Why the decision to speak now after all this time has passed? Where's your head at?
Well, I think part of it is I finally got the approval of my attorneys to do so. They, the ones working on the defamation cases, they said it's easier to win a defamation case the more that people talk. And so they've been collecting a lot of evidence over the past while. And also I think that now that some of the emotion has died down in the world and with people that are led by their feelings, I think now they deserve to hear some logic and some truth and make their own assessment. So.
Do you miss her?
Yes, sir.
Tears? Really? He knows that the media has claimed he hasn't cried once since Mica died. Mr. Tough Guy over here pretends to weep like a little baby. Y'all remember when he did this on Justin on TikTok, this interview? That was your first clue that he was feeling out what the people wanted in order to see him as the ultimate victim. He exited that interview real fast as soon as he was seeing what people were writing about him in the comment section on Justin on TikTok.
So, let's see what else. Anyway, Justin, was talking to you. Nice seeing you.
I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us and answer a few questions, and we'll be in touch.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Justin. Have a good night. Good night.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
That's insane.
This guy, ever since, had been all over the place. To the beach with women, getting close with Susie Skinner, and went for the throat on her family with such a cocky, arrogant declaration to blame the Francis family for Mica's death. I noticed at one point he came for you, the audience, saying how stupid you are if you didn't agree with him. Like he's been this whole time trying everything from being God to raise Mica from the dead to being your friend, the guy with the key to all the answers that you're wanting in justice for Mica, to being a womanizer, and finally to an angry, superior human wearing superhero outfits to, just now, a mourning husband.
Did you see this coming?
Yes, but it doesn't change at all the power of the pain of reality. I saw it coming for years. I told them for years this would happen over and I said, if she gets off her medicine, suicide is the next thing. She tried it in the past, but with me, she always remained okay with me. She was on her meds with me. She was healthy and happy. And even if she did get low or stop taking her medicine, I would help her get back on it and things would be fine. Without me and with her family, she's off meds and she committed suicide. And I told them this would happen over and over again. I tried my best to stop her from getting a gun.
How can someone know how someone else will die and what weapon they will use? How could you know that? Mica was blacked out on her wedding day from medication. She took off walking down the aisle to marry JP, forgetting her father at the door because she was so doped up from a surgery that JP denies that he encouraged her to get for his sexual gratification. Also, JP has a history of losing control when it comes to dosing himself on his own medication long before Mica ever did.
Y'all, I'm sorry I'm making y'all watch this.
God, that's a big old zoom right there.
God bless them. If it's a neighbor, God bless. It's the close-up for me. It's the zoom in for me at the end.
This guy sat in the grass like a little mouse, weeping, blaming medication, saying fire ants were biting him. And so now he's going to be the hero of the day?
Brandy, thank you for subscribing to the TikTok page. Very sweet of you. Thank you.
And say that Mica was nuts off her meds and that without meds she would kill herself? I'm pretty sure this is just a built narrative.
I have copies of all the police. I talked to her counselor, the pastor she was going to, her family, her friends. I told them all, don't let her get a gun. Do whatever it takes, prevent her from getting a gun. And when she was with me, she was never able to go that far. But with them, that's exactly what happened. And it destroyed me. And I still haven't really grasped it. Like, it hasn't. I kind of keep putting off the reality of it. And I try not to think about it as much as I can.
What was going on in your marriage the week Mica died?
The week she died, we didn't talk that entire week. I'd emailed her several times that week, and my regular emails are sending her letters telling her that I love her. And she came over to the house. The last time I saw her was a few weeks before she passed away. We spent about 4 hours together, and we hugged and kissed, and she was in and out of psychotic conversations. She would say, one thing about double agents that are following her. That was one of the phrases she would use when she was off her meds, double agents. The other phrase she would say, she wants to come home so bad, but her family won't let her. She told me she wanted to live in Africa and asked me if I'd live with her. I said, sure, if you take your medicine,
So wait, you'd give up your bread and butter, your congregation, to go to Africa for her mental health? Really? You emailed her you loved her? Because I have this email right here that says that you took her Africa mission trip away from her and you were ready to get rid of her, divorce her. Right before Mica died, in her knowing about this trip, he said, hey, Mica, I hope you're doing well. I'm ready to be done and move on and heal and find a first lady who won't treat me the way you are. I really hope you do great things. I was willing to do anything. I even had the amazing desire to have kids since you're not on meds. And I want to apologize for the flowers and fruit. It was already paid for to last until your birthday. Feel free to give it all away. I sent that to you before I found out all the things that I have recently found out about you and what you've done. And you disgust me. So please, let's meet soon and be divorced and let this nightmare be over for me. I'm enjoying all the Africa missions, and Pastor Jumba and all the pastors' wives are so excited for what we're doing. Weird.
She told me if I'd give her some money and if I would write her a letter saying certain things in this letter that she would take her medicine. And so I tried that, but she desperately wanted to come home. She was just so afraid her family would disown her. And so the week before she passed away, I probably emailed her maybe 7 or 8 times that week just saying, I love you. You need your lithium. Don't forget who you are when you're on medicine versus who you are when you're off. She had lost 40 pounds in a month, and nobody that it was in her life thought to take care of her. Nobody. She was living with a former registered nurse. Her family, quote unquote, were taking care of her. She lost 40 pounds in 1 month, and no one thought she needed help. She was talking about living in Africa. No one thought she needed help. She's making videos on Facebook. And if you see the videos, you know it's not her because she has a different cadence, a different tone, a different amount of words per minute when she's healthy and on medicine than when she's off. And the way she was even looking into space when she's taking those videos, you knew she was delusional. And if somebody loved her enough to take her to a professional and say, okay, this woman says she's being abused, or this woman says, this, or she's lost 40 pounds in a month. If someone thought I need to take her to a professional, that professional would have known that she needed medicine.
She didn't need a professional. She needed him to get away from her. I know that look that Mica had when she spoke on her videos. And you guys have heard what I went through. Like, she was deep in thought, in my opinion, and made perfect sense to me. There was nothing delusional about what she was saying. In fact, when he alleges that she tried to be suicidal before, was she on meds then? Like, I know that he says, oh, I only knew that she was coming off her meds secretly, kind of behind my back, knowing that I wanted her to take them to spare her life. And I could tell that she would get suicidal when she would come off her meds because that was the sign that she was thinking about suicide or killing herself. And so I knew.
Dear Lord, entertainment and educational purposes only, TikTok overlords. TikTok's been acting crazy as hell lately. Just so TikTok's aware, when they review this, undoubtedly, my word, y'all. YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. We got 121 likes. Let's get 200 likes. Madame August Butterfly, thank you for the $10 super chat. Very sweet of you. Thanks for supporting Mike Francis. Of course. Absolutely. Thanks for the love, you guys. Let's keep going. TikTok, hit the follow button, tap the screen like crazy. Y'all, my name's Patrick. If you like true crime, I do these reaction videos and live streams and all that stuff every single night. So welcome in. TikTok, hit the follow button. YouTube, hit the subscribe button, like button, all the buttons. And let's continue on. Oh, and make sure you follow everybody that's in the videos, y'all. It's all tagged down in the description on YouTube and TikTok, the Mystery Project on YouTube. That's where you'll find the channel. Come on over, subscribe. We're live there too, and you get to see the videos. Hey, that's a win. Let's go.
Knew she had been off her meds, but if Mica doesn't have a proper diagnosis, and that could mean from Dr. Randall, you know, because he had faith and trusted JP Miller so much, you know, like who knows? Nobody's really seen where she was diagnosed. So listen, if Mica got diagnosed from someone within JP Miller's community, I'm not so sure that we could trust that. And if she didn't, then where is the evidence that was promised to us on where she was actually diagnosed from? Because to me, if somebody was doing JP
Cecily, thank you. Another one. So sweet. You guys are the best. Thank you.
a favor, you know, or just taking his word for it. We know he's a smooth talker. He admits it himself. If they did that and she wasn't properly diagnosed and she was put on the wrong meds or she didn't need them, then that alone would have messed with her mind and her body. I think we're all still waiting to see that evidence on where the diagnosis took place, who did it.
And the reason I know that's true is because I took her a few weeks before she passed away. I took her to probate court, and in 3 minutes time, she went in, she walked back out. When I went in, they said, your wife is mentally ill and she needs medicine desperately. And I said, okay, let's do it. Let's get her the medicine. Let's get her help. And they said she's not a danger to anybody in society, so we can't force her to do it. But if one of her family members or friends had taken note of the way she was acting and seen what was happening to her physically and taken her to just one professional, they could have saved her life.
Where were you when Mica died?
It was on a Saturday. I was in Charleston with about 100 people from my kids' school.
What was it?
Oh, soccer. It was a soccer tournament.
Okay, so we know, you know, I've gone through Mica's last day, pretty much almost down to the minute. Bring us through your last day. You said soccer. Were there any? Do you have any documentation that they were there?
Oh, you're asking because? Okay, I got you. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can't believe people. Oh, my Lord. So, yeah, I was with about 100 people. We had dinner that night. We were all together at the soccer fields that day. Afterwards, after the soccer game, somebody was with me the entire time, who I can't name due to legal purposes, but I will say it's somebody that I love more than anything else on planet Earth.
Man or woman?
Young person that I cannot name due to legal purposes, but somebody that I am responsible for and love very, very much. And that person was with me, and we went shopping in Charleston, and we got food in Charleston, and there's all the receipts from that throughout the time. I think we might have gotten gas too, and then made it back to Myrtle Beach. And I was just actually looking today at emails that I sent her that day. I sent her 4 emails that day, and I just noticed today that 2 of those she wasn't able to read because it was after it had happened.
What do you think happened that day?
So, according to what she's tried to do in the past, and according to her doctors who have taken care of her for years.
Sangeeta, thank you for the off the grid action. Yeah, Sherry, I got you. There it is. Thank you. Very sweet. Just saw that.
And according to me, who's seen it over and over again, I imagine that she was in an incredibly euphoric attitude. I saw her pictures on the Dick's Pawn Shop. Someone sent me screenshots of the Dick's Pawn Shop pictures where she's smiling, which out of the 6 or 7 times that she tried to commit suicide in the past, only one of those times was she depressed. The other times, she was very euphoric. And she would wake up and say, I think I'm supposed to die today. And I said, no.
Oh, my goodness.
No, honey, you're not going to do that. She said, well, my mind tells me that I'm supposed to kill myself. I said, we're not going to listen
Debbie, thank you.
to your mind. We're going to take you to a doctor and get you help. And I discovered, of course, that she had stopped taking her meds each time. But either way, she was in a euphoric attitude. And so you see the Dick's Pawn Shop video where she's wearing her work clothes and with a smile on her face. So they sold her a weapon, and then I assume that she drove. She told one of her best friends. So far, the 4 people she spent the most time with every week, no one's interviewed or talked to those 4 people. And one of those people that I talked to told me that she told her 2 years ago, if I ever commit suicide, I'm going to go to this place in Lumberton, the state park or something like that.
Which friend is that?
I probably wouldn't want to name her because I saw this friend one time here in public for 30 seconds. And, of course, Robbie S. Harvey, as usual, got somebody to take a picture and destroyed the girl's life, brought up her past and horrible things about her. So people are scared to tell the truth or to talk about the good things of Mica because of the social media.
Oh my God. He just had to jab Robbie Harvey. It wouldn't be an interview if he didn't. Of course. I kind of wonder if this was the girl with the tattoos that he was seen on at the beach. I mean, he says he didn't see her past 30 seconds, but it just, you know, who was that? Now, this is really well thought out if he did participate.
I forgot about that.
In this crime. He's got alibis like it's another day, says he emailed her several times despite a divorce proceeding coming up. And at first I was like, oh, I think I caught him in a lie. And the lie that I thought I caught him in was this. JP had texted Charlotte about Mica's death because Mica had been near where Charlotte lived. That state park that she took her life in was next to where her really good friend Charlotte lived. And so JP he had reached out to Charlotte and he was letting her know, and then he was checking in with how she was doing. And then he said something that Robbie Harvey was like, I think I cracked this case. What he said was, I thought when she was over there that she was over there to see you, which then indicated that he had her followed or he had some way to track her. But now he's coming up with this new kind of friend that he ran into for 30 seconds that then admitted to him, oh yeah, you know, by the way, if she were to ever take her life, that she would kill herself.
Dear Lord.
Right where she killed herself. But he
unbelievable. Vicky Rose, thank you for the off the grid. That's a few coffees right there. Thank you so much. Very, very sweet, y'all. TheHauntedSide.com if you want to support the show directly. I appreciate it. Let's keep going.
Won't tell us who said it. And he says in that 30 seconds that Robbie Harvey was able to send a photographer there and capture a photo of that girl in 30 seconds in that random half-minute time. So it kind of makes it look like he's covering up his lie of knowing that she was over there to begin, because that's what he texted Charlotte. He
Brittany, this is Chelsea J on YouTube.
Said, I thought when she was over there, she was coming to see you.
So this friend says that Mica told her, if I'm going to take my life, I will probably do it in Lumberton River State Park.
She told me that after Mica passed away, but she told me that Mica told her that 2 years ago, yeah.
Did she say why? Why that location?
She said because Mica told her it was peaceful and outdoors. And Mica did love the outdoors, loved the outdoors. Vacations were outdoory vacations because that's what she loved. But so
Has she ever been there?
No, not that I know of. Not ever that I know of.
Do you guys have any connection to that area?
Not at all.
Have you ever been there?
Nope. I've never even heard of the place. I never even heard of, what's the city? Robinson County. I've never even heard of there.
So did it strike you as, before you heard this, did it strike you as odd when you heard that where she went and what they say allegedly happened? Did you question it at all?
Well, I didn't think it was real. I thought her family had made it up and had somebody call me and say that. So that's one big thing. I didn't think it was real. When I found out it was real, you know how like like you tell somebody something, you tell them. Then when it happens, you don't want to say I told you so because it's a horrible thing. That's what I felt like. I felt like I told y'all, like I told her family this so many times you can't imagine. I told her friends this. I told everybody. I said, if y'all don't get her lithium, she's going to commit suicide. Her doctor told her this on paperwork where her doctor said this. And then when I get the call, I felt like the world's biggest failure because I spent the past 3 months when her family got her out of the hospital and didn't bring her home. And her dad talked her into buying him a car and all this stuff was happening that was all crazy. I made a vow that I was going to do something every single day to try to get her back on her lithium and save her life. And so every day I did.
Whoa. Jason, good to see you. Thanks, man.
Sometimes I did 4, 5, 6, 7 things. Some days it's just one thing. But every day, whether it was an email, a text, visit someone, talk to a family member, talk to a friend, go somewhere, go to a judge, go to probate, I'm going to do something to save her life. And I spent every single day for those 3 months doing that. So getting that phone call made me feel like the world's greatest failure. I was against the whole world because everyone told me that it wasn't true and that I was making it up and that whatever they were saying. So it was me against the world for 3 months and I failed.
Also, if this unnamed friend for a 30-second conversation knew this about Mica and Mica has now died, if this was Mica's good friend and this person exists, why didn't this person say anything? Why did this person who would know Mica to be suicidal, because that's what JP says, everybody knew she was suicidal except the Francis family, why didn't the friend say something? Why would the friend wait and say, hi, how are you? Nice to see you. Yeah, just want to let you know that's where Mica was going to kill herself. But I didn't know that. So make it make sense. And yeah. Yet here we are, not addressing the abuse. It wasn't the medication, in my opinion, that made her feel like she needed out or was being followed. It was him really not leaving her alone and having her followed.
What was the call, and who was the call from, and what did they say?
Man, it was a man. I got a call, and it was I think it was a detective. I think, and I remember him being very calm and very nonchalant. And so that's why I thought, well, this is not real. And so I started screaming. I had a family member that was there with me. I started screaming for them to use their phone to call the hospital where the guy said she was at. And my family member called the hospital and said it was real. And I still didn't believe it. And so I called a police chief that I know somewhere around here, a captain or somebody. And I said, there's a detective named such and such on the phone telling me these things. Like, is this real? Is this a real person or not? And that person told me that it was real as well. And I just remember, screaming really loud and throwing up everywhere. And
What did they tell you?
I remember throwing up. Did I have spaghetti that day? It was a lot of throw up. It was something red.
Oh, hell no. Letting us know what you ate and threw up does not make us believe it more than we already do. You know what would have helped was not getting together with women right after Mica died, not blaming the victim who perished. Nobody gives a crap what he ate.
It was something red. I'm sorry?
What did they tell you?
I don't remember that. Oh, no, I don't remember that.
But you remember what came out and what color it was? This is crazy.
Hold on. I don't remember what he said.
Well, he came to this interview and he knew these questions would be asked. This is a tactic to get us to think about him being a victim. What his vomit looked like, how he screamed, how he thought it was a lie from her family. But regarding the phone calls and the people he spoke to and what really got said, it's all very dimmed under this big shadow of his alleged reaction to learning that Mica had died. So right now, we can't really see anything else that's happening in the moment that he got those calls other than what he tells us. And what he's telling us is that he was mortified by the news. This was my reaction. This was how it affected me. And I think what I ate was red. So it psychologically is supposed to pull us away from the importance of this interview today and get us to remember how much he suffered and only know what he tells us. This is about him being the victim and suffering, not the information about Mica's death.
My family member called the hospital and spoke to, I think, either the head nurse or medical examiner or somebody. And that lady read me stuff that the Robinson County, I guess, had wrote on a piece of paper. And she was reading me suicide and the weapon and where it.
Lord have mercy. Entertainment and educational purposes only, TikTok overlords. I know y'all gonna be reviewing this thing, AI and everything, whatever. We're talking about a true crime case. TikTok overlords. Literally every video that I've posted for the last 2 weeks, they're like, you can't do that. And I'm like, yes, I can. Unbelievable. Entertainment and educational purposes only. YouTube, hit the thumbs up button too. Let's get 200 likes. Come on, y'all. Hit the thumbs up button for me.
Was at and all these different facts. And so then because the detective would not tell me it was suicide. And then I called him back and told him what the hospital told me. And he was pissed off and asked me who that lady's name was. And I didn't know her name. And if I did know, I wasn't going to tell him anyway, because I'm glad she told me. Anyway, and so, and I said, is this stuff true? And I can't remember if he said yes or just hung up. I don't remember.
Do you remember what he said, though?
Oh, man, I don't remember at all. If I try to enunciate it, I'll probably be making something up based on all the crashing of everything going on. So I can't tell you for sure.
Did you ever question the findings that the authorities gave to you that this was suicide?
No. I mean, I'm not a detective. I watched Scooby-Doo growing up, but that's what everybody seems to be acting like, is they're part of the mystery machine. But my Lord, like, let my wife, let her be at peace. Like, she's in heaven. She's not worrying about all this stuff. Let her rest. Let her memory rest.
Sounds like she is worried about this kind of stuff. It sounds like her family is too, and that's why they want this Mica's Law to pass is because they don't want people to forget about it and just let her name just fade away.
Suicidal tendencies over and over, year after year, off medication especially.
Answer the question, JP. He doesn't answer the question. Circular talk is a tactic. Anytime he doesn't answer the question, that's what that is.
One of the things that raised eyebrows initially for the public was when you gave a sermon here and you announced publicly that she had committed suicide. And you talked about, you attributed
Leslie, thank you again.
it to her mental health. Why do you feel the need to come out with that at that moment?
That's a great question. So first, let's discuss why I preached that morning. Is that okay? Okay, so people have been asking that. So have you ever taken any psychology classes or anything like that?
Very few.
Okay, yeah, I haven't taken any. So I would love to find a book or a psychology professor or someone that could tell me the correct response when you spend 7 years trying to keep someone alive by just taking a few pills that their family tells them not to take. Then when they don't take it, they go into a hospital, their family takes them out, and then you spend 3 months trying to get them help when her family's telling them that you're evil and the bad person. And then it finally happens, the thing that you've been dreading for 7 years, and you're trying to prevent for 7 years, then it happens. I don't know what the correct response is, right? Am I supposed to stay home and cry? Am I supposed to go out with my friends? Am I supposed to go to a bar and drink? I don't know what the right thing is, right? As a pastor, should I just get on my knees and pray? I mean, I want to die in that moment. And so the next morning, I remember thinking, okay, if I stay home, I'm probably going to kill myself. I'm probably going to just go to heaven and be with her and be done. Because I need to be around people, but I don't want to be around people and come to church if I'm not going to preach, because then I'll be judging the guy that's preaching the whole time, and I can preach just as easy as I can breathe. So I'm just going to go in the mode of what I'm normally going to do and just continue my life normally until I finally have to deal with what's going on. And so I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know the right response. I wish somebody had told me, in hindsight, if I go back in time, I probably would have done the same thing and still preached. And then the sermon was about leaving your legacy and the people you leave on earth and your memory that's being left. So I thought maybe that's God. Then I thought, you know what, Mica wouldn't want me to preach. That's exactly what she'd want me to do. She'd be telling me to do it. She'd be trying to force me to do it. So I preached. And then at the end of the sermon, when I made the announcement was made. And of course, I'm not in a clear thinking frame of mind. I mean, it's like, it's not like I'm, kumbaya and got it all together. I said what I said because I didn't want them to think that it was because she's a bad person, or I wanted them to know, like, if Mica does anything that's out of character, it's because of her mental illness. It's not because of her. Like, she's a wonderful woman, full of integrity. When she's on her medicine, she's black and white, does the right thing, does not like the wrong thing being done. Off medication, she's a totally different person, and I didn't want them to see her as someone that was bad. I wanted them to know it's just a sickness, like if you have heart disease or if you have, diabetes or whatever, a mental illness, you need medicine to continue going forward. And so that's why I said that.
Also, something I found interesting in that moment, you said, before I tell you this news, I'm going to paraphrase here, I'm going to tell you this news, and I want you to leave. I don't want you to stand up and talk about it. Why?
That's a great question. And that was actually intentional, because the last thing I wanted to hear was people talking about my wife. I wanted them to go up and take it to Jesus before they start, doing what some Christians like to do and just chatter. And I didn't want to experience the extra pain. I didn't want to be mad at somebody in my church because I heard them say, well, I'm not even going to guess at what somebody could have said, but I didn't want anybody to say anything negative about my wife.
I think there was the chance that J.P. Miller was used to attention, so he preached. And if they talked about Mica's death after church, then the attention would go from him onto that. Just like how the attention all along needed and should have been on Mica and her death. And yet he did everything in his power to get it focused on him through public appearances, TikToks, and more. I don't believe him now because he lost credibility with me and still continues to even through this interview. Just because he cries and wears a suit today does not mean that he has changed his ways of thinking about any of this. He still thinks he's a victim. He still hates Robbie Harvey. He still blames Mica's family. Can't give us promised evidence or answers. So far, I have not gotten much more in this interview than I have in any interview he's ever done before.
Another point of concern, let's say, for people watching, was when you gave a eulogy. It was something concerning. People said that was concerning that you said that you tried to raise Mica from the dead. And I believe at another point you said you laid next to her body in the morgue. Is that true?
I didn't lay next to her body. I mean, I couldn't, you can't lay next to her because her body's up on this thing, but I mean, I hugged her and I sat on the floor, next to her and just talked to her for a while. But yeah, I tried raising her from the dead. Because you know what? If it had worked, we'd have a whole different story. But God forbid me not try it and always wanted the rest of my life. Would it have worked? Right? Jesus did it. Elisha did it. There's a few other people in the Bible. And so, yes, if somebody I love more than anything in the world has passed away what I believe to be an early death, you better believe I'm going to try to, in Jesus' name, raise them from the dead. I believe in healing. I believe in miracles. I believe in the raising of the dead. I'm a one God, apostolic, tongue-talking, holy roller, born-again, heaven-bound believer in the liberated power of Jesus' name. I'm not ashamed of it.
Would you characterize your relationship with Mica as healthy?
Oh, man. We had...
Damn. That's a laugh, isn't it?
When she was on her medicine, we had the greatest marriage you could ever imagine. We spent every day together. I don't know any other couple that spends every day. So we wake up, well, she'd kind of wake up before me, but, you know, we'd go work out together every day, 5 days a week. We eat lunch together every day. We would work together every day. We'd pick up the kids, do stuff with the kids every day. We'd go to dinner every night together. Then every night we would have our routine. So there's 3 things we would do. We would either sit in the bathtub together for 2 hours until the water went from steaming hot to ice cold. She bought this big air mattress we'd put in the back of the truck, and we'd go park somewhere here in Myrtle Beach where there's no lights, and she'd bring us some hot chocolate, and we'd lay on the air mattress for 2 hours. Or we would go out on the beach with our beach blanket and lay there for 2 hours. But the point was, no cell phones, just her and I. She would talk 90% of the time. I would talk 10% of the time, and I would just listen. And so every night, 2 hours, we'd hang out together. And so was our marriage healthy? It's probably as healthy as any other American marriage.
No, it's not, bro. If my husband guilted me for visiting my family member, hence also breaking the "we hung out every day" statement that he just made, then it would not be the American marriage. It would be abuse. And vice versa. If I hooked up with a dude or a woman, or forced my husband to do that in front of me, knowing that I had an addiction to it, he would leave me. Because there are statements in the Bible that say we are to love each other as Jesus loves us. And yet he skips all of that. Like, he doesn't answer to any of this. He doesn't talk about loving Mica in the way that the Lord would have wanted him to. Instead, he just declares the craziest thing you could think of. Well, if Jesus could raise somebody from the dead, then I might have a chance at doing that too. It's nuts.
That is
Have you
crazy.
ever abused your wife?
Never, not once in any way, shape, or form. I took better care of her than anybody could ever take care of her. I never asked her to clean the house, not once in 7 years of marriage. She never had to cook a single meal. She never had to work. She was never harmed physically in any way.
In a letter or in an email you wrote to Mica, you apologized,
Yes.
right? You apologized for tracking her, for messing with her tires, for posting the picture. So that's all true, right?
So great question. I'm so glad you asked that, actually. If I wanted to lie about that, I would just say I never wrote the letter, right? Because how can you prove that I wrote somebody's letter? There's no signature, there's no name, it's not in my handwriting, but I 100% wrote the letter. And I did it because the night that she was with me, the last night we were together for 4 hours, at one point, because the whole 4 hours I'm trying to get her to take her medicine. And then she's saying, my family doesn't want me to, they don't want me to come inside the house. Maybe it's your house, come inside. So finally get to the point, she says, you know what, I'll take my medicine and I'll come home if you'll give me $10,000 and if you'll write me an apology letter.
So let me understand this correctly. The email that you wrote to Mica, apologizing for hiring a PI, tracking her, messing with her tires, and posting a topless photo of her. You wrote that, you say,
Yes,
but
sir.
now you're saying that you didn't actually do these things.
I did the PI thing, but so over the years, what I've learned with her is when she's in a delusional state of mind, I have to play into it in order to get her back on medicine. So the first year,
That's Shutter Island. I keep saying it. That's literally the plot of Shutter Island.
when she'd say something, I'd say, that's not true, that's not real. She'd get mad and blow up and, knock a hole in the wall or something like that. So then by December 2019, I think it was, we were watching TV and she just stopped and said, "You're a double agent." And I said, "No, I'm not." She said, "Yes, you are." She said, "And I'm going to call the police." She said, "You're a double agent. You've stolen my things, and I'm going to put you in jail." And I was like, "Oh my goodness, what do I do?" She hadn't been taking her medicine.
So just to be clear, you wrote this to Mica, but now you're saying you didn't do those things.
No, I did not slash the tire. I did not. I don't think there's a naked picture of her anywhere ever. Anyway, I think that was just a made up thing. And I think that her tire just got something ran over, from what I understand. I don't know. I didn't see anything. But I did hire the PI before. I did everything I could to stop her from getting a weapon, everything you could imagine. I hired a private eye, and I said, put a tracker on her car, and if she gets anywhere near a gun store, please let me know. I did everything I could think of. And
Did that private eye alert you
she never,
that day?
No, I had stopped paying for it about 4 weeks beforehand. Yeah.
Why?
Running out of money, and people telling me that she was totally fine and I'm wasting my time.
So what do you say to the doubters and critics who say you drove her to suicide?
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. So wait, she wasn't with me. Because listen, with me, she didn't commit suicide. Apart from me for 3 months and with her family, she did commit suicide. One of the last things she showed me a book she's reading called I Love Jesus, But I Want to Die.
Whoa.
And I said, why do you want to die? She said, because I can't come home because my family won't let me. That's what I say to them. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
You need a minute?
Oh, man. Oh, man.
What's tripping you up?
Just being able to tell. Just being able to talk about everything. It feels like people don't care to hear the truth. They just want to go off of feelings and believe whoever screams the loudest rather than whoever has the proof.
Well, no, wait. He's the one who's crying. I'm just kind of sitting here, not in my feelings, but trying to find the truth in all of this. I'm still waiting for the truth.
Do you feel that you did anything that you would change? Do you feel any part responsible?
God, that's a great question. Man, that's such a good question.
Whoa.
Wow, what a good question. Can I have a second to think about it?
Sure.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. What would I do differently? Oh man. I know what I do. I would not involve her family when she's having mental episodes and is schizophrenic and is off her meds. I would never have texted them.
We've seen you dressed as Spider-Man in videos.
Okay, let me just wait, hold on. I'm not Spider-Man.
In your,
I can either
in your
confirm or
text
deny.
to me.
Not this part again.
It says Spider-Man as the person who's texting me. So we've seen you in videos dressed as Spider-Man. We know there's a Spider-Man character in the back of your house somewhere. Her family wonders if you have identity issues and this need to align with superheroes. What's your reaction? And what's the reason for the Spider-Man?
Well, first of all, I can neither confirm nor deny that I've ever put on a Spider-Man costume. But you'll never see me in the same room with Spider-Man, I will say that. And I don't know, people say stuff. Me and Micah would go to...
So you don't get in the Spider-Man costume? I mean, you just sent me a picture with you and Spider-Man.
Me and Micah, we'd go to Comic-Cons every year. We both dress up. Micah dressed up more than I did, actually. There are times I didn't dress up, and she did. We love that kind of stuff. She was Wonder Woman, she was Spider-Woman, she was Mystique, she was a lot of different characters.
Notice how the host is kind of taken aback by the Spider-Man costume incident. And then when JP picks up on that the host is not amused, he's like, why would you do that? That's when JP brings Micah's name into it and says, well, she did it more than I did. So anyway, we never get an answer about his identity crisis in relating to superheroes. Like, he just skips that. So
Whoa.
Circular talks his way out of answering that.
So you're not even going to grant that there's something odd here?
No, I'm not. No. I put on the Spider-Man costume. I go see handicapped children. I'll go visit kids that, love comic books and that are handicapped, and I'll pretend like I'm Spider-Man, and I'll take them a comic book and do videos with them and stuff like that.
One of the videos that has surfaced recently is from years ago, and I'm sure you know what it is. You're sitting face down on the ground and you're freaking out, and you're talking about, you're literally squealing about being eaten by ants, taking the wrong meds, that you missed your family.
Is your medication something they gave you?
I mean, for viewers, for people watching it, the common thought is, what is going on here, and do you have a drug problem?
No, so I fell out of a tree, a giant magnolia tree. It was like 300 years old. I broke 12 bones.
Gotcha, JJ.
It was 10 to 12 bones. I don't know if you count finger. Yeah, it's count finger. Anyway.
Whoa.
I have all this metal in my body, and I'd never taken pain meds in my life, and I just had my body cast taken off, and so I took a little bit too much pain meds that day.
That's it.
That's
just
it.
What? Percocet?
I don't remember any of them. It was 2016, and it was like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever. And I was missing my family. My wife, Mica, and I, we started through an affair, and so we were both married to people, and then we got divorced, and I was missing my family because I had lost my family at the time, and I was on pain meds, and it just all went together.
Word has it that he did that when he was trying to win his ex-wife Allison back. Also, how do you not actually know the number of bones you broke if you had surgery for it?
I fell out of a tree, broke a bunch of bones, took too many pain meds. That was that story.
Not hallucinogenics.
Not what would hallucinogenic be?
Make you hallucinate.
Well, what makes you hallucinate?
Drugs.
Like illegal drugs?
Hallucinogenic drugs, yeah.
Oh, I've never
Oh my word.
done illegal drug my whole life.
Okay.
Oh. Oh crap, that was a lie. I'm sorry, that was a lie.
Oh crap. Oh crap. Oh gee, thank you for hitting that one, y'all. Appreciate it. Let's go.
When I was 16 years old, one time I was in a truck with two of my friends, and they were both smoking pot. I didn't smoke any, but they do a thing called hot box, and so I got some of that. And then I tried steroids one time.
Well, that's the tea, folks. Did you see anything about evidence in there? I mean, he's promised it on recordings. Like, at this point, he's just going to make a lot of promises, and then he's going to drag it out, and it's still going to be the promise to come. But really, the reality is there isn't anything that he's willing to show. I'd be surprised if there was. So did you get anything more out of this interview, or let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below.
Oh man, and y'all, here we go. Here we go. What we've all been waiting for. Agatha May. Y'all make sure you follow everybody. Links down in the description. YouTube, we got 200 people watching. Do we have 200 likes? 151. Y'all, 49 people. Hit the thumbs up button. TikTok, hit the follow button, tap the screen like crazy. Thank you for the gifts. You guys are sweet. Thank you for the live gifts. Hit me with some donuts and let's go. Agatha May style. Here we go, y'all.
Welcome to, or welcome back to, the Agatha May Detective Agency. I'm Agatha May, and in this episode, we're looking at the preachin' pair of self-proclaimed prognosticators named Joseph and Lynette Dutton. But before we get started, I want to thank Donna, Dr. Mama, Jessica, and Karen for the super thanks. I appreciate it so much. Also, I was asked if I had a P.O. box, and I do. I have added the address to my channel description, and I will post it below in the video description. The Duttons came to my attention when I was grappling with the story of our favorite idiot, Reginald Wayne Miller. Joseph's father helped Wayne start his very first college.
Gosh, she comes out of the gate strong, and doesn't she?
Well, isn't that fun? There are rumors that the Duttons have been giving money to John Paul, and while they are connected to Wayne, I'm not sure they have anything to do with John Paul. They definitely don't seem like people he'd be friends with. I think he and Joseph would clash because they'd both be fighting to get all the attention in the room. The reason I'm talking about the Duttons is because I think they're frauds. Joseph
Damn, Agatha, what you doing?
describes himself as a media mogul and a husband, father, and pappy of 2 grandbabies. Lynette describes herself as phenomenal. Their humility is so refreshing, isn't it? Among other endeavors, Joe and Lynette are co-pastors at the King's House Church in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Pappy Joe was born in 1971 to Reverend James L. and Earlene Peterman Dutton in Hartsville, South Carolina. Only he was probably just Joey then, not Pappy. Joey graduated from Hartsville High School in South Carolina in 1990 and has been preaching since the age of 14. I don't think Joe actually had his own church at the age of 14. I think, being the son of the pastor, he was probably able to preach once in a while. But Joey likes to make things sound different than what they actually are. According to Joe, he doesn't have just 1 doctorate. No, this little go-getter has 2 doctorate degrees in divinity. Now you're probably thinking that he must have spent a lot of time in school, right? Actually, he bought 1 degree from none other than Wayne Miller, who hands out doctorates like cigars at the birth of quintuplets. But what about his second degree from Tabernacle Bible College and Seminary in Tampa? I'll bet that took a lot of sweating over the old books. Nope, it didn't. According to the college's website, you can get class credits for life experience. You don't have to crack open a single book. Just
You what?
have the right kind of life experience, I guess, and
Whoa.
ta-da, you have a doctorate. Joey's wife, Lynette Fisher, entered the world just 6 months before Pappy Joe did, but she was born to different parents, which was probably a relief all around. She was born to Roy and Gloria Fisher in Green Bay, Wisconsin, but the Fishers left the land of beer and cheese to head to South Carolina. Lynette graduated from Midland Valley High School in Langley, South Carolina, where her father owned a construction company and her mother was a pastor at Faith Tabernacle of Belvedere. Well, how progressive. Lynn and Joey got married in 1991, and it's been wedded bliss ever since. I actually don't believe that last part, but we'll get to that later. Just like her hubby, Lynn also went to the Wayne Miller School of Mediocrity and paid for a phony baloney doctorate degree.
Whoa.
After getting married, the Duttons loaded up their covered wagon and forded the Savannah River to make a new home in Evans, Georgia. Joe and Lynette were associate pastors at New Covenant Christian Center of Augusta, where Joe's brother Jim Jr. was pastor. Joe also tried his hand at owning a lawn service company, but that only lasted a few years. Our daring duo stuck around Georgia until the Chattanooga Choo Choo started whistling their names. So in 2010, it was off to Tennessee,
Chattanooga Choo Choo,
where they founded Dominion Life Church. After only a year, the Duttons decided that they'd been mistaken and they were really supposed to be in Carrollton, Texas. They claim they worked in ministry for T.D. Jakes at the Potter's House in Dallas, but they don't say what they did there. Maybe lawn maintenance. That endeavor lasted less than a year, and they moved to Forest City, North Carolina in 2012. As a side note, T.D. Jakes has found himself dropped into the Sean Diddy Combs scandal after allegations were made, with alleged proof, that he attended sex parties held by Diddy.
Dear Lord.
Joe and Lynn became pastors of New Harvest Church in Forest City. It was an established church, but I guess the former pastor decided he'd had enough of that town and probably moved somewhere exotic like Charlotte. The Duttons changed the name to Dominion Harvest Ministries, and they still use that name as an umbrella organization. They renamed the church to the Epicenter Church because Joey is just the kind of schmuck that thinks his church is the center of everything. The Duttons then started a church in Myrtle Beach that was meant to be a second location of the Epicenter Church, so there could be two centers of everything, I guess. But the church in North Carolina died a mysterious death, and the church in Myrtle Beach became the King's House. Before we get started on what the Duttons are up to these days, let me warn you that if you go have a look at any of their websites, your eyes will be very sad. All 6 of
Agatha May, she holds nothing back, y'all. Let's keep going. TikTok, by the way, hit the follow button if you're new. My name's Patrick. If you like these true crime lives, I'm live every night. Keep tapping the screen like crazy. Hit me with those donuts, y'all. I appreciate the support. YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. We got 200 people watching, but only 168 likes. Y'all, come on now. Come on now. Let's get 200 likes. We need 32 more. Come on, you guys. Tap the thumbs up button. All right, let's keep going.
their websites are graphic tragedies. You know the tourist attraction flyers that are handed out in gas station parking lots that are advertising an all-you-can-eat buffet with a buy-one-get-one-free coupon attached, and the restaurant has a Wayne Newton tribute band and some guy named Larry that walks around performing bad magic tricks at every table, and they promise that the restaurant has a view of Mount Rushmore, but fail to mention that it's the backside of Mount Rushmore. And there are also other advertisements along the bottom of the flyer for various random businesses that you'll never need while on vacation, like a cable installation company and a rock quarry.
Jesus.
That's exactly what their websites look like. The King's House Church is located in a 2,400 square foot storefront in a shopping center in Myrtle Beach, right next door to a consignment shop. Well, that does sound fit for a king. I wandered over to their events page to see what these two were up to and found an advertisement for Kingdom Quake 23, and I thought that sounded like quite the affair. Unfortunately, the 23 doesn't mean it was the 23rd occasion of the event, but it was actually held in 2023. I've discovered that the Duttons are exceptionally bad at keeping any of their websites up to date. I can't find a single
She's exceptionally bad at keeping their websites up to date.
event advertised that hasn't already happened. The Duttons started their own television station in 2018 named Dominion TV. Their studios are in the same 2,400 square foot storefront as the church. Well, there's a lot happening in that space. No worries, though, because in 2022, the church bought property identified as Lot 20 in Myrtle Beach so they could build a mogul-worthy studio. Supposedly, they've been approved for a $1.2 million loan, but they need $150,000 to close. So they've recently had a fundraiser. The money was needed by the closing date of June 25th. But then Joe let everyone know that the bank moved the closing to June 28th. On July 3rd, Joey posted a video that he went to sign on the loan, but the crazy builder hadn't gotten a bond, so they had to postpone the closing again until July 9th. Darn the bad luck. He then disclosed that they'd only raised $25,000 of the $150,000 needed. On July 9th, Joey let everyone know that the closing didn't happen again because the closing attorney was out with a stomach virus. Can you even believe that these things keep happening? Who knows what'll happen next? Will the bank burst into flames? Will Joey contract spontaneous amnesia? Maybe the loan officer's legs are just going to fall off. I'm sure the closing isn't being put off because Joe and Lynette don't have the money. Also, Joe and Lynette, I checked and you're delinquent on your property tax payment for Lot 20. I just thought you should know.
Damn, Agatha May.
The Duttons are so proud of their church and television studio space that they used the photo from Google Maps and superimposed their logo over the photo to make it kind of look like there's a sign on the building. That is so classy. In 2017, the Duttons installed cameras at Solid Rock Church so they could live stream and record for their future television show. Did that show ever become a reality? One thing that the Dutton duo is good at is making sure you have multiple ways to give them
I grew up myself.
money. Almost every page on every one of their websites has a donate button or 2 or 5 on it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They even have fun ways to give money, like being a Kingdom collaborator. What exactly is a Kingdom collaborator? No one knows. There isn't a speck of information on what they are, other than there are 3 levels that go from $99 a year to $329 a year. But there is zero information on what the memberships consist of. They're just memberships. I happened to check Lynette's Facebook page after writing
Unreal.
this, and she actually posted a list of what each level includes.
Whoa.
Do you think she can see into my brain? The night
Oh, Agatha May. Just making me laugh since 2024.
$99 and the $329 levels both include a half-page and full-page ad, respectively, in the Duttons magazine, Dominion Life. You can get a subscription to their magazine for only $80 a year for 4 whole magazines. What's odd is that the website for their magazine shows that the latest edition is from the 4th quarter of 2022. Are they trying to sell ads so they can print another magazine edition? Or are they promising things they can't fulfill? The $329 level also allows you to speak at one of their networking events. Now, usually speakers get paid to speak, but the Duttons have just turned that idea backwards, inside out, and upside down, and they make the speakers pay them. The Duttons also offer mentoring, whether it's media mentoring through the television station, personal mentoring with Joe, or having Lynette as your life coach. You're sure to get your money's worth. I'm just kidding. You'd do better asking a magic 8-ball what to do with your life. The Duttons love getting money so much, they even put their Cash App cash tags on posts about their birthdays so people can bless them. Along with describing herself as phenomenal, Lynette likes to talk up her previous jobs to make them sound more important than they were. For instance, she says she worked with a company instead of for a company. She worked with Aflac. She worked with Estee Lauder, implying she was in some sort of collaboration or contract with them. Come on, Lynette. Just admit you sold insurance for Aflac and worked behind the Estee Lauder counter at your local Macy's. She also insists on mentioning every chance she gets that some of the companies she worked for are Fortune 500 companies. Well, Lynette is certainly a blazing star in the corporate world. Except that everyone who works at Walmart works for not just a Fortune 500 company, but the #1 Fortune 500 company. I somehow doubt that Lynette thinks that a Walmart door greeter is in the same class as she is, though. How about waste management workers, Lynn? They're a Fortune 500 company, too. The truth is, no one cares that you've worked for a Fortune 500 company, and you mentioning it just makes you sound like a vain nitwit. Lynette also claims that she's won many awards, including the prestigious $1 Million Sales Rolex Club. Well, that sounds super exclusive, and also a little bit like something a 10-year-old would make up when he's playing businessman. I hadn't heard of the $1 Million Sales Rolex Club before, so I searched Google for that exact phrase, and there is only one webpage on the entire internet that mentions it. And guess whose it is? That's right, it's Lynette's. That club is way more exclusive than I thought. But Lynette is an amateur in hubris compared to Joey. He is the engineer and the conductor on the ego train. So you can have Pappy Joe come and speak at your church, or...
Yo, you have to see these images that she puts up too. Make sure you subscribe to her channel, Agatha May Detective Agency on YouTube. She's on TikTok as well. But TikTok, come over to YouTube right now and watch the rest of this video. Oh my God, she is great. I wonder if she makes all these herself. Incredible. The Mystery Project on YouTube, y'all. You can find her channel. You can find this video. Everything is in the description. The Mystery Project. Let's go. Come on over, y'all. Hit the like button too, you guys. We got 14 likes away from 200. Everybody watching on YouTube, hit the like button. TikTok, hit the follow button. If you're new here, my name's Patrick. I'd love to have you part of the family. So hit the little follow button. Let's go.
A revival, or make an appearance at your barn dance. Now, he doesn't specifically mention a barn dance, but I don't think he'd turn it down if the price was right. But old Pappy has some requirements before he'll agree to stop by your shindig. And these requirements are taken directly from his website. Dr. Dutton does not charge or set a price on his ministry assignments. When it comes to his time of ministry with you, whether small or large settings, we simply ask you do your very best, as you know Dr. D will be giving you not just a sermon, but over 35 years of an old well that he has kept pure. Yes, Joey has the purest 35-year-old artisan well. It is pristine, the cleanest, nary a speck of dust has ever entered his well. It is so unsoiled it actually repels impurities for up to 30 miles. Joey's well is the finest in all the land. It's bacteria-free, non-GMO, gluten-free, and has no preservatives. It is so clean you can see all the way to the bottom. To be honest, I'm not even sure what I'm talking about.
Oh, Agatha, you're amazing.
If your meeting is over 50 miles from Dr. Dutton's home in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, a hotel room and travel expenses are required. Travel expenses could include a rental car if needed. Dr. Dutton will not stay in someone's spare bedroom. Well, I should think not. Spare rooms are not meant for people who have purchased 2 doctorate degrees. Spare rooms are for spare people. Joseph Howard Dutton is not a spare person. Have these people not heard of his pristine well? The nerve of this man to think he's above staying in someone's guest bedroom and to not be grateful that someone would be gracious enough to open their home to him is absolutely repugnant. Ministry engagements 3 or 4 hours away from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, will require the purchase of airline tickets. Our office will purchase those in advance and send you the receipt, which will need to be paid in full prior to Dr. Dutton's engagement with your ministry event. Well, we can't have Dr. D's backside getting sore from too much driving. He just can't preach with an achy tush. All hotel expense must be paid in full prior to Dr. Dutton's arrival, including leaving a card on file for the incidentals at the front desk.
Damn, he's trying to hit that mini bar. He's trying to get room service. He's trying to get that real nice robe and some slippers. Oh, I wonder if this place has a spa.
I know this man is not making the churches he's visiting leave a credit card on file for his incidentals. And that is so vague. What are his incidentals? Oops, forgot my toothbrush. Darn it, I forgot my suit. Oh my goodness, I don't have any shoes. How silly of me. I forgot my Bugatti watch. Dr. Dutton's preferred hotel groups are 1. Marriott brand, 2. Hilton brand. Well, of course they are. Pappy Joe can't sleep in a slummy comfort inn because, unlike Jesus, Joey was not born in a barn. Please be sure to attach our ministry's hotel group members points number to the room. This number will be provided to you at the time of confirmation.
Damn, they want the points.
So not
too.
only do you have to foot the bill for Joey's hotel room and incidentals at the Marriott or Hilton,
you have to get the points for it?
You can't even earn the points for the stay you're paying for. Preferred room, king suite on a higher floor. You know, I thought Reggie Miller tried my patience, but this man's audacity absolutely dwarfs Reggie's. Joseph, you are the store brand version of Guy Fieri, you pompous bag of bunk. So you might want to rein in that ego just a bit.
Whoa.
There are times that Dr. Dutton will travel with an assistant. If that's the case with your ministry engagement, a separate room will also need to be provided. Who's the assistant? What is his or her name? Is the room an adjoining one? Do you two stay up late braiding each other's hair and playing truth or dare? A 6 or 8 foot table will need to be provided for Dr. Dutton's books and resource products. Resources may be mailed to your office prior to ministry engagement. An inventory list will be provided with that shipment. Now, I don't know what his resource products are, but this man has written 1 book. Throw a few books on a card table and keep the extras in a box underneath. Do you have tablecloth requirements too, Joe? Does the fabric have to be woven from the downy underbelly tuft from an albino Siberian mountain goat? A list of Dr. Dutton's.
That sounds like something I would make up, Agatha. That's fantastic. I'm going to start saying that.
The extras in a box underneath. Do you have tablecloth requirements too, Joe? Does the fabric have to be woven from the downy underbelly tuft from an
downy underbelly tuft of a albino. What is
Albino Siberian mountain goat.
albino Siberian mountain goat? Oh, that's outrageous. I love it.
A list of Dr. Dutton's dietary restrictions and preferences will be sent to you upon acceptance of an invitation.
Oh, God.
His preferences are probably something like an antipasto platter made of pedigreed heirloom tomatoes that have been rinsed with sparkling mineral water, then sliced into exactly 1 millimeter medallions that are nestled gently onto a nest of hydroponic organic oak leaf lettuce, surrounded by Picholine olives that are of uniform size, with mozzarella that is handmade tableside in his hotel room, served with flakes of truffles and soft folds of prosciutto that was made from the pig who found the truffles. I'll bet when Joey's at home, he's throwing back moon pies, pizza rolls, and crackers with spray cheese and washing it all down with Diet Shasta Cola. This man is preaching out of a shopping center storefront and thinks he deserves the red carpet treatment. He doesn't even deserve the throw rug treatment.
Ooh.
I looked through Lynette's Facebook page, trying to get a timeline of their life, and wow, was that ever a journey. The things that Joe Dutton posts on his wife's page are so not appropriate for a professional page, much less someone who is supposed to be a minister. Both of their pages are their public figure pages, so they use them to talk about their church and television station. But that doesn't stop Joe from making posts on Lynette's page to tell her things like, "You looked good enough to keep home this morning," and also to tell her, "I think you're sexy. Joe, you used the wrong you're." And I cannot tell you how many times this man posts that he loves it when she calls him Big Papa. It is so over the top that I question its authenticity. I've noticed in their photos together, it looks like they don't even know each other, that they were just hired to model for the photo shoot. And this does not look like a kiss between a passionate couple. Then I found this photo of them when they were younger, and, well, this photo of Joseph might be the answer to why their relationship doesn't seem quite bona fide. I've also thumbed through the Duttons' other social media accounts. Their public figure pages on Facebook get the most interaction, but the rest of their accounts have pretty dismal numbers. I think their entire online and more than likely in-person persona is a facade. There are a lot of words and bright colors and videos and photos and things that move and flash and multiple projects, and there's a pretense at being busy and importance, and the ostentatiousness of it all is what makes it suspect. They post ridiculous photos to get attention, but really, these pictures just make me question whether or not they're entirely sane. Lynette shared this photo of the wardrobe she was going to be wearing for a photo shoot. Showing Chanel and Gucci bags you're using in a photo shoot for your nonprofit is tacky to begin with. But when they're fake bags, it's even worse. Everything surrounding the Duttons.
Damn, Agatha May. Holy macaroni.
Seems to be as counterfeit as that Chanel bag. They both have doctorate degrees from a degree mill, or should I say a degree miller. Lynette has to pretend she had fabulously influential and successful careers, and Broseph is a make-believe media mogul. They put fake signs on photos of their church/studio. Neither of them have much on their criminal record that I can find, just a couple of traffic violations. But I did find some collection judgments against them. So I don't think that they are crime lords of any kind, but I do think they're grifters. I think they stay in a place and they put on their show and flash their empty smiles and dance for the cameras until the money dries up, and then they move along. They like to say they're church planners, but none of their churches stayed in the ground. They've all been pulled up, and remnants of them are dragged on to the next place on their agenda. I don't know how long the Nothing Duttons are going to last in Myrtle Beach. They've owned the television station since 2018, but they are still producing from a storefront. Their social media accounts are mediocre. Their magazine is dead. There's nothing on their itinerary. They can't raise the money to build their studio. I think the only reason their studio is still afloat is that there are people who want to be on television for reasons of vanity above anything else. Maybe soon it will be time for the Duttons to load up the wagon and move on yet again. There's another circus to perform in another city, another state. They will write out a new list of the same old ideas and plans and schemes, slip on their masks, and dance. Allie Carter wrote in Uncommon Criminals, "Even the longest con was never more than an assortment of moments that were in themselves very, very short." Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share, as that helps my channel grow. Until next time, stay safe and be happy.
Agatha freaking May. Oh my God. She did it again.
Oh, he needs some milk.
Wow. Wow. Oh, Agatha May. Incredible. Incredible. Well, y'all, that does it for me this evening. YouTube, do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button before you go. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. TikTok, can we get 50 donuts? Let's get them real quick. We can crush that last goal. Hit the follow button if you're new too. Tap the screen like crazy. 100,000 likes. I love you guys. Have a wonderful night. Have a good weekend. Hope you're having a good weekend. And I will see y'all tomorrow. YouTube, Rumble,